Good morning to you. This is Talk Radio Breakfast with me, Julia Hartley-Brewer. 9:21 is the time. Don't forget the Home of Common Sense is now on your TV. For details, go to talkradio.tv or download the Talk Radio TV app. Let's talk right now about vaccine passports and with people saying, "Oh, it's just a threat. It's not really going to happen." Well, it's happening in France, in Italy, in Australia, large other parts of the world. Happened in Scotland already, although not being enforced completely right now. And last night, it happened in Wales in a knife-edge vote in the Senedd. Wales did approve bringing in vaccine passports for nightclubs and events involving more than 500 people. Well, someone who was there watching that very closely is the director of Big Brother Watch, Silkie Carlo, who joins us. Good morning to you, Silkie.
Good morning.
Good morning. It is extraordinary, isn't it? This was a plan that was being brought in by Welsh Labour, by Mark Drayford. All of the opposition parties, Tories, Lib Dems and Plaid Cymru, said they would vote against this. It was going to be an absolute knife edge. And then an extraordinary thing happened where tech got in the way of, well, democracy. Tell us.
Apparently so. I mean, yesterday should have been a huge success for Wales and for the country, really, because right up until the last moment, we didn't know how everyone was going to vote. And then Plaid Cymru said that they were going to vote against. So all of the opposition parties were against. On the numbers, we should have won yesterday. Vaccine passports shouldn't be happening in Wales. And so it's an affront to not only civil liberties, our constitutional liberties, but democracy that this has happened, because for reasons that are, to be quite honest with you, still unclear, one member, Gareth Davies, appears to be in Manchester and not in the Senedd, and said that he had technical issues and couldn't get in to vote. So frankly, he's either missing in action or there were technical issues. Whatever's happened, it's an illegitimate vote. You can't have a vote go ahead when you've got members shouting, "I've got someone who's trying to get in, he wants to vote against." That's going to change the direction of the country, and not let that person in and not try to solve that issue. So understandably, everyone, I mean, we're devastated. Everyone's very frustrated.
Well, and again, it makes it all much more real for other parts of the country as well. And a lot of people who I've debated this issue with say, look, this is just a threat. I mean, the government threatening this is bad enough. It's just trying to get more young people to get vaccinated, to improve those vaccination numbers, and they're not ever planning to bring it in. But it's very real in other countries. In Italy, basically, you can't do anything, you can't go to work without your vaccine passport proof. In France, we've had massive protests on the streets every weekend for months now over their requirements for that. We've seen in Australia, again, violent police crackdown on protests there, where construction workers being told you have to have proof of vaccination to order to go to work. These are spreading. I mean, vaccine passports are as infectious as COVID, it seems to me. So there's a real concern they are going to be brought in England across the whole of the UK.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very serious threat. And, you know, anyone who thinks that this was just a nudge to try to get people to get vaccinated. Like you said, look where we are. So we now have them in Scotland, we have them in Wales. Tell that to the teenager that was crying outside the protest yesterday because he now feels that his life and his future has changed. It's the thin end of the wedge. I think anyone sensible looking at this realises that this is COVID pass is the beginning of medical health papers. I have absolutely no doubt that it will expand into other areas and that they're going to be nigh on impossible to get rid of, but that's got to be our task now. So this is you know, at this moment in time, it seems that something very, very bad happened with Gareth Davies. If you can find him, Julie, in Manchester, I'd be delighted. This is a mess that needs to be cleared up.
How do we stop this from happening in England? And if it does happen, how do we stop it from continuing? Do we just boycott every event where they're being used, when that just damages, you know, the nightclub owners, the football grounds and concert halls and the like? What should we do?
Well, the first thing that needs to happen is the missing Senedd member, Gareth Davies, needs to give a statement, explain exactly what happened, because it could be.
But move on from that.
Yeah, but there could be a procedural issue here. So, I mean, there are people in our country have made sacrifices over the years, big sacrifices, to stop us becoming a papers-carrying country. Whether that means turning up to your job in a Senedd, or it means not complying when your boss or a bouncer demands that you show your medical papers, I think it's incumbent on all of us to say no, draw the line here, because this is a line that shouldn't be crossed.